From the PIs. Ready to start eating for sure.
Chase,
Hey, how's it going?
how are you?
Good.
How you feeling?
Honestly, I feel great here at 55. I think my energy kind of shows it, but I've been training hard this week, and yeah, I'm ready for Saturday. This is a fun fight. I'm super excited.
Is fight week a little bit better, not having to kill yourself to get down to featherweight?
100%. Again, like I've mentioned it before, but like cutting down to 45, I literally would tell my coach, I'd be like, hey, for mitts, like just I want jabs and straights. I don't have the mental capacity or the energy to like do anything more than that. Like I'm just trying to get a sweat. Where now, I'm doing pretty much everything short of sparring with my teammates right now, which I think helps. Obviously, helps get the weight off, but it helps with the confidence and it helps me feel ready going into a fight instead of being like, oh, am I going to be able to recover in time? How am I going to feel when I get into the cage? Now I just feel confident, and I know on Saturday I'll be ready to get after it.
And I guess is it better like just during camp? You know, you're not just thinking about getting the weight off, right? So you're actually improving and getting better.
Yeah, I mean, the using the Performance Institute has always been great. I use them for the supplements and the meals, but it's not having to go past that. Like for most of the camp, I'm still able to eat, 2 to 3 meals a day. I cut it a little towards the end, just if my weight's not where I want to be. But my body feels a lot healthier at this weight. I'm not having to force myself down any lower than it's willing to go. So yeah, I think it's a lot better for me, obviously.
6 months since your last fight. Is it a little longer than you wanted? I know that before you couldn't take fights on short notice because of your weight, but is this a good amount of time, or did you want to return sooner?
Yeah, no, it was a great amount of time. We already had a trip planned kind of right after the last fight for August for me and my wife's anniversary. We went to Italy, which was great. And they offered us a fight like September 3rd on the Paris card. And that would have been like just cancel that trip. But the fight ended up not working out. So we ended up getting Jordan in November. And then it was nice because I didn't have to diet down while I was, trying to enjoy all that Italian food. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I think next year I'm going to kind of try and kick it up a notch. Just kind of bang out fights as often as I can, as long as I'm staying healthy, as long as I'm getting the wins. And yeah, I definitely like to fight more often next year, but this year it was perfect.
What was your favorite activity in Italy?
Honestly, it's really cliche, but I like seeing a lot of history stuff. It was cool seeing the Colosseum. Rome was great for that. So was Florence. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool seeing obviously, we're not on the same level as the gladiators. Like, I'm not getting slashed up with a sword or anything, but it's interesting seeing how combat sports in a way have been entertainment for thousands of years, and it's cool to be, I guess, a part of that legacy a little bit.
When you get the name Jordan Levitt on your passed on your desk, what was your first reaction?
I was excited. Obviously, I've mentioned it before. Like, I've hung out with Jordan. We've been in the sauna together. I've talked to him a little bit. We're both professionals. I think he's a nice guy. So am I. We're two of the least intimidating guys on the roster. Like, that's just not having an ego about it. Like, I know neither of us look tough, but we're both really tough dudes. I think that helps me. On that side is I know like he doesn't look as good as he is. Just like I don't. Like, I don't look like I'm going to be as tough of a fight as I am. So I know to respect him going in there. But yeah, I mean, it was a super fun matchup. It's kind of one that we were looking at for a little bit. When I was contemplating the move up to 55, and I'm happy they gave it to us. I think it'll be a great fight. This is one of the few fights where I haven't been like scared so much as like, or anxious, nervous, whatever. I'm like just excited. I'm excited to go in there and test myself against a guy with a similar skill set.
I'm sure you've seen people are saying this is like the biggest meme fight of all time. Are you kind of buying into it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, with my social media stuff, I've been trying to kind of pump it up a little bit. It's a fun fight. It's we're both a couple of I guess dudes that are on the weirder side of things. We're not we're not taking this too seriously. Obviously, I'm a professional, but I fight in my underwear for a living, so I can't. I'm not trying to be a tough guy. I'm trying to have fun with it, and hopefully give the fight the attention that it deserves. And I think obviously the position they put us on the card shows that it's a good fight, and UFC knows it.
Yeah, I mean it's just the featured bout for a reason. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this fight. Breaking down the fight and like kind of looking at it, obviously you guys both have very good ground games. Usually that means you guys are going to stand up and box. Like, do you want to test your jiu-jitsu against his, or are you looking at this like this is an MMA fight?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of been the thing, is treating it like an MMA fight. This isn't a grappling match. It's not a boxing match. So ideally, a little bit of both. I don't really try to go in with a super specific game plan. Like, I'm not trying to be like, okay, I'm going to go and then do A, B, C, D, E. I just, I know kind of some little key points about, where he's effective on the feet, some great things that he does on the grappling. And it's trying to kind of negate that and, put myself in those positions so that way on fight night I'm not, I'm not getting too focused on a specific thing. I'm just here, again, like ready for his weird style of striking and his weird style of grappling. I feel like he has great top pressure, but I think when it comes down to the scrambles, as long as I'm staying on top of things, I think I can win those. And yeah, I'm the longer guy on the feet, so hopefully I won't screw that up. And like Dominic Cruz was saying, hopefully I won't fight like a short guy again. So we'll see. We'll see.
He's not happy that he was the underdog, and you were the favorite. Do you have a reaction to that?
I'm not really sure what the odds makers are looking at when they're having me as like minus 245 favorite. And I guess that's part of it's me being the one having to go in there and do that. I don't get the confidence of somebody from the outside being like, oh, you got this. I see it more as like a 50-50 fight. I think, or maybe a 55-45. I think I'm a 55 on that. But, I see it as an even matchup, especially from the outside perspective. But, again, I don't know what they're looking at. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised too. But we can't bet on the fights. It doesn't make any sense for me to care about the odds too much.
And then I just wanted your thoughts on the division as a whole. Put the matchmaker hat on. Who should fight Islam Makhachev next?
Let's see. I guess, I don't know. It's so hard. I really wanted Dariush to win against Oliveira. I wanted to see Dariush and Makhachev finally happen. Maybe Gaethje after the BMF. That win over Poirier was great. I'd watch that fight. I would hope to see a little more wrestling from Justin because, again, he's got that wrestling pedigree. He just never uses it. And, again, he's going to be a little bigger, so I think the size makes more sense than Volk coming up, especially on short notice like that.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Doesn't seem to be too much trash talk between you and Jordan. Obviously, you mentioned you've shared moments before with him. I mean, regardless of the result after the fight, you guys going to go out and celebrate or something?
No, I mean, my game plan after fights usually is get home as quick as possible. I think we fly out at like 6 a.m. Sunday morning, so I'm not a Vegas guy. I don't party, I don't drink, I don't smoke. So I'm trying to get in and out. But again, like, he's a nice guy. Shake his hand before, shake his hand after. But, it's business. We're going to go our separate ways after. I respect all my opponents, but whether they beat me or I beat them, like, we're not going to be buddies after. I'll be cordial before and after, but, again, this is business.
Fair enough. And keeping that matchmaker hat trend going, division 295, where Benoit Saint-Denis broke into the lightweight rankings. He called out for a top 5 opponent. Do you think the UFC should give him that, or do you think he should make his way to fighting like a Dustin Poirier or something like that?
For who?
Benoit Saint-Denis.
Oh, I mean, that knockout of Frivola was honestly crazy. I don't know about top 5, but definitely give him top 10. The thing about 55 is it's so stacked. It's so hard. I mean, 45, 55, and 70, like the 3 most stacked divisions in the sport. It's so hard to break into the top 15. It's so hard to break into the top 5 and get the momentum going from there. I think a lot of the lightweight guys higher up in the division are still pretty active. But no, I think give him a top 10 guy. I don't know about top 5. I think that's kind of jumping the shark a little bit, but we'll see.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I've just got one fun one for you. We had Paul Craig in here, and he was giving us some impersonations. Do you have any? Can you do any? I know I put you on the spot, but.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have any impersonations off the bat. I can't be embarrassing myself too much right now.
He did Arnold Schwarzenegger. You want to give that one a shot?
Oof. I don't have the testosterone for that. Craig's got the beard. Look at me. I shaved this morning just so I didn't have the little peach fuzz. But I'll work my way towards the Arnold impression, and I'll get you guys next time, hopefully.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Chase, thanks for taking the time. Kind of circle back to what you mentioned about your trip with the wife. It's kind of awesome that you guys went to see the Coliseum and Gladiator and stuff, because you're our Gladiator now, and this is your Apex, your Coliseum. Did anybody recognize you out there? Any MMA fans, fight fans were like, "Oh, it's Chase Hooper."
I had a couple people DM me like, "Oh, hey, I think I saw you," type of thing. But I don't know. I don't. I try not to get caught up in that stuff too much. Like, I don't know. I'm just a regular like dork like everybody else. I get to do this cool thing once. Again, right now it's once every 6 months. But the rest of the time I'm just a normal dude. I don't know. I don't like how some people walk around and like expect people to know them or anything. I don't know. Like, I'm just a regular dude. My wife, yells at me when I don't take the trash out. She makes me do the dishes and stuff. Like, I'm just a regular dude, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's nice. It's nice. It's really cool when people recognize me. I just feel like I'm the awkward one. Like, I don't know how to give them like a good, satisfying experience. Like, I feel like it just ends up being awkward for both people. But that's who I am. That's where I'm at.
I can dig it, man. Hey, but that's awesome that you're grounded and you're humble, which will help you learn and evolve and progress in the game. You mentioned something real interesting about your the body being healthier. So did that affect you at all, without giving anything away, like depleting the body, you're like, oh man, this hurts more than it should have, or like, man, the recovery time. So I'm assuming at 55, you're just firing on all cylinders. Even that weight cut has to be smoother, right? Like, just not so draining.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll never make excuses for any losses, but even in some of my wins, I felt like, I'd be grappling and I would feel that I couldn't, do any crazy ground and pound, or else, I wouldn't have any energy left to keep fighting. So I felt like there was definitely, I hit a wall in the fights. But here at 55, like, again, like, I'm able to train hard. And that recovery is going from, whatever, the 12, 24 hours of dieting, then you have, or weight cut with the water, and then you have 24 hours to recover, instead of me doing that crash diet where it's like protein shakes, and again, like I was having little like honey packets before training just so I could work out for an hour. It's hard to come back from that, from like 2-3 weeks of, again, destroying your body and really malnourishing yourself. It's hard to come back from that in 24 hours. But yeah, I feel like I'm kind of in a sweet spot right now at 55. I feel great.
Awesome, man. Well, glad you're home at 55. Can't wait to see some really nice guys try to kill each other on Saturday.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean,
Talking about awkward, when a fan comes up to you, like, do you do like the fist bump? Do you do the wave? Do you do like the head nod? Like, what do you do?
I try to shake people's hands. I feel like, I don't know, it seems kind of dismissive if I'm just like, all right, bye, get out of here. I don't know, I try to be cool. I don't mind talking to people. I'm not the most social guy, so I'm not great at making conversation, but if someone's like, oh, hey, like, how's it going, big fan, whatever, then yeah, I'm good at, I guess, I don't know, I can keep a conversation going, but it's hard for me to start them. I'm still awkward, and yeah, I'm working my way towards being a normal guy someday.
Makes sense. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. I'm trying. Sweet. Thank you, guys.